Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness me. Is it time? Is it Severance time?
Yes, Gretchen, it is. It's Severance time.
Oh my goodness. It's Severance time.
But what is this? What?
Bloody hell, mate. It's Severance time.
God. Jesus. Because I've heard Will's impersonation? Because I've heard Will impersonating a British person with a British accent. You're doing this such a terrible...
Fuck you.
Listen, man. You start with your shit. And I'm already
At least
getting
it's
cursed
not
at.
story.
Christian, I don't know what's going on. You know what? Since you're the chief editor, the things I say are not gonna make it in this thing anyway, so just gonna like not waste energy. But it's our favorite condom, Trojan. What the fuck? Hilarious. Anyway, episode 5, Trojan's horse, and episode 6, Attila. Because we're merging shit here. Okay. So the way episode 5 start before the opening credit song thing, some guy, Christian, go and pick up the new tools, like surgical tools, like those scalpels, I think is what people call them. Because O&D, optics and design, so I guess they design everything, which makes sense. That's what they're the department for. And that same guy takes the elevator down to go to the testing floor. So, which is
it's a very enigmatic figure.
Yeah.
And he was whistling something, right? I looked into it. It's called The Wreck of Edmund Fitzgerald. That's the name of the song he was whistling. And it's a ballad by Gordon Lightfoot, and it was released in 1976. And the song is a story about a sinking ship during a violent storm that happened in 1975, and all 29 crew members went missing. So it's about the crew members falling to despair as waves and wind overpower the ship. And it's basically a tragic tale written as a song. So, quite significant, I would say, to have this foreboding figure doing something very eerie and then whistling a song about despair.
Damn. Christian, I love that you did the homework for that. You know what, Christian, you just earned yourself a short. I didn't look into that. That's just this show, man, it's just to show you, right? Like, I didn't look into it. You just did. Look at something as simple as someone whistling. I did see the subtitle. It did show us the name of whatever he was whistling, but I didn't look into it. But look how there's a correlation, or there's a story that's like, that's kind of weird. Like, oh, this is why he's whistling that. But then, like, something as like micro, on such a micro level as someone whistling something. It's insane. The fucking details that goes into the show. Some crazy shit.
Very intentional.
Yeah. Helena Egan being caught by Irving. So now she has to report to the board. At this point, Christian, do you think the board is just them three? Like Natalie, Helena, and Drummond?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I would also, if I were to assume it's those three, I would include the CEO. Her father, because
he's never voice. There.
Yeah, true. But there was that voice. Remember, like the very first time we heard the board, and that didn't sound like Drummond or any other male figure.
Okay.
I do love Drummond's voice, though. I love how this guy sounds, especially when he does the interview with Milchick. Here's the lunch menu. Yeah.
It's okay. The good thing about these two episodes, they're so. Well, like every episode complement each other as you get to the finale. But these two, it's good because there's so many things that we can just wrap up in the next episode. Like I was going to talk about, all right, yeah, let's just run through that briefly because I want to get into Milchick's episode too, Milchick's interview, because that was pretty cool. Helena is reporting back to Drummond and Natalie. I was like, yeah, you were out for a few weeks. Does Father know? Father knows. We need to send you back. Why? Because Mark won't complete Cold Harbor without you. Now we learn from episode 6 when he was talking to Milchick during the interview that whatever Mark is completing is big enough that if he does succeed at doing it, that thing, Milchick will be remembered for, like, he'll go down in history pretty much because Mark completing Cold Harbor is supposed to be this.
One of the greatest moments in the history of the planet.
Right. So that's big, right?
Like, so it really puts into perspective why Milchick would act with such conviction and commitment. All this stuff.
Yes.
It adds this weight to everything that's happened so far that just makes the mystery so much more
Yes, yes. I'm gonna get to that. I love that. I love the change. I love the dedication to what you just said. The weight, like what I'm currently managing right now, will go down in history. Is extremely important, vital to the company I work for. For that reason, whatever they have reprimanded me for, I need to perfect, whatever the cause. But we're gonna get to that. Helena, right? She's like, yeah, I'm not going back down there. They're fucking animals. Like one of them tried to kill me. My Annie tried to kill me. Like I don't want to go back down there. It's not insane. We've seen it before. We know her point of view, but it's just the lack of not humanity, because you mentioned that too. Like it's her. Like, it's not another person.
Yeah, like everything she says in this meeting that comes off as cold, or even her actions going forward. Now I view it in a different lens because of what she said in the tent, where she was like, "I didn't like who I was up there." She did not have to tell Mark that, and that felt very sincere. So I feel like this is all a ruse, and she might just be doing what she's told. Or maybe she's also like Milchick. She understands this is one of the greatest things to happen in the history of the planet, whatever they're doing. So she's sucking it up, and she's convincing herself to... Because also, Drummond, he said to Milchick to remember to treat them as they should be treated. Right? So whatever this ideology is, that you have to treat them like a slave, seems integral into whatever it is that the work that they're doing. So maybe her, in the beginning, when she was being very cold to her innie, was her trying to tap into that perspective, because for whatever reason, it's crucial in heading towards this moment that's like one of the biggest things in human history.
For Mark completing Cold Harbor. Yeah, he brought that up. You know what, since we've been tiptoeing around that review, might as well just get to it. Yes, that is what he said, because one of the things Milchick implemented was kindness reforms. And yeah, Drummond was pretty much like that. Yeah, that's I think that's one of the other things that you failed at, which the first two reasons are so stupid, but it is what it is. And I feel so bad for Milchick there. Like, you had some positives, which they mentioned. I don't even remember the positives, because the negatives were just, that's what stuck out to me. Like, you use too many big words. Wild. Which, like, he's a fucking manager. He used too many big words. And if you paused when he took the review back with him in the first line, it's like, oh, the words you're using is making it hard for you to communicate with your subordinates. He only has one, and that's Miss Wong. So, yeah, I don't know if these complaints came from Miss Wong, because the guys on the floor don't have a say in voicing complaints about managers. Like, nobody could go to a board and tell them, hey, Cobell is doing this. Or we don't see surveys at the end of a quarter, let us know how your manager did. So those complaints must have came from the only person he's directly interacting with, which is Miss Wong. But, like, I don't know. And also, she's a child. But regardless, right, we're seeing how these red flags, like these things he's being reprimanded for, because he's aware of what's at stake, like you just mentioned, he's going to crazy lengths to fix them. Like, we know he's someone that's very, like, wordy. Like, his grammar, his vocabulary is, like, off the charts. And for him to dumb himself down, you need to start eradicating from your essence childish folly, saying childish things. You must grow up. Grow. Like, he's shrinking down.
It really felt like he was talking to himself there.
He is.
That it came out with.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's training on how to talk to these people moving forward. That's him forcing his verbiage out of him. That's him forcing his, like, way of speaking, his way of responding out of himself to shorten it.
Yes, that is true. Well, and I also think that because what he was saying, like, eradicate from your essence childhood or childish folly, I feel like there was a double meaning. Like, he was telling himself that, like, maybe he feels like he's acting childish, or he needs to grow up, or maybe this is something that he's told himself over and over in the back of his head, and it came out in that scene at the same time as, like, him trying to simplify his language. Because that, like, how else would or I guess I couldn't, the aggression that he did that with felt like it was more than just him dumbing it down. And for it to be more than that, it would make sense if he was, like, telling himself, like, stop being childish, grow up. So
the thing is, in the scene prior, he told that to Miss Wong.
Yeah.
So then he is simplifying that. He's finding an example of where he uses big words and curtailing it and making it more, like, microwavable to his listener, which is Miss Wong. But I guess you can take it in two ways too. Like that's him replaying a sentence that he did say when he brought her up into his office and told her, just so you know, like I'm responsible for promoting you. It's on my say. So for that reason, I need you to stay in your lane. I need you to stop being childish. Like, yeah, him repeating that was him recalling a conversation he had with her and thinking what he should be saying moving forward if that scenario comes to play again, based off of that reprimandation. Yeah, based off of that, like, is that reprimandation? Is that the word for reprimand? Or is it, yeah, but I guess you can take it like that too. There's what is the second thing? The second thing that they told him, the paperclip, which is insane. Like, this is just stupid. Like, your paper clips where you install them, some are front to back. Yeah. Did you say something, Christian?
No, it was silly, I'm sure. But in order for these critiques to last hours and hours, you'd get little minuscule things like that. Even though they only showed us one, but
yeah,
it's
they're 2 to 6 hours, right? Ooh.
Even down to the way he walks, the way his posture, like it's very precise. It's very calculated. But yeah, he was just prim and proper, and it feels like maybe he too is being watched for all these mannerisms. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I'm sure we'll get more insight there as the episodes go on.
And also keep in mind, those are monthly reviews every month.
Yeah.
It's not a yearly thing or a freaking semestral thing or trimestral thing, if those are the adjectives. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Christian, we had a similar scene to the one that we had about the paintings again. Like, before the performance review starts, Milchick asks Natalie, like, I just have a few questions, just because we face similar challenges, you and I. Bro, what emotions did these paintings evoke on your end? And, of course, I don't think he's aware of how high she is. I mean, he must be, because she sat into his review. I don't think he's aware of how much Lumon probably has already indoctrinated this woman and how much she believes and she's for the cause, to the point where she could tackle the CEO's daughter if she's if she's blabbing. Like, I think he's looking for, like, not an ally, but another black person who could see, like, and tell him, like, yeah, it was a bit hypocritical. Like, yeah, I did feel a bit eerie. But at the same time, like you mentioned again, it's like she's trying to push that out of herself. Like, her eyes, like, she keeps telling him so much with her eyes. But then just flip the conversation. It's like, oh, we have to go in now. But it's like, bro, they keep locking their eyes for like a good 2 to 3 seconds where it's like she's in the second place. Like, if you've seen the movie Get Out, and she's like trying to scream out. Oh, they did that fucking well. Yeah, that scene was sick. Yeah. That's some crazy shit. Okay. This was Milchick's his review that we covered. The excuse that he had for them, like, the way these people cover their bases, like we mentioned, when they all barge into his office, when the LER is back for the first time since, like, ever, because it's been Helena this whole time, they're like, what is this? What happened? Milchick is calm. He's like, this was the Glasgow block. What is that? Helena was conducting research. For that reason, she needed to not take the shape, what I'm talking about. For that reason, she needed to be herself on the 7th floor to conduct said research. And Irving, who wasn't aware of that, almost drowned her. For that reason, he has been cut out. The reason he gives her his Audi, Christian, his Audi is now on an elongated cruised voyage. Like, I'm glad that they show us Irving later on in the episode, in episode 6. When he said that, I'm like, did they actually kill him in real life? like, what do you mean he's on an elongated cruise voyage? That's such a weird way. And elongated too, as in, like, very long term. We'll not see for a long time. Like, when you heard that, did that strike anything? Like, were you like, why?
Nothing in particular, just because I know that this is the lingo that they use to control the innies. So it's a very clear lie, but I mean, they've been lying to the innies this whole time.
That makes sense. And then to back up his lies, more lies again, the king of Sweden would walk among his commoners to know their true grievance.
How did he, the Grakschupen?
Right, the Grakschupen.
Yeah. Oh, also, we didn't talk about the little moment where the guy said contretemps, or however you pronounce it.
Yeah, Drummond said that, and I was like, ew, bro, just use English. You don't speak French.
What?
No, it wasn't. That's not what I was supposed to say. Like, the word is contretemps, but which it's almost sounded like he said it like that, but he didn't. He was like contretemps. Like, just.
It sounded good to me.
Of course, it sounds good to you, Christian. You don't speak French. That's not a diss or anything. But I was like, bro, just speak English, man. Like, what are you? Like when my history professor was like, oh, laissez-faire. Like, no, it's laissez-faire. That's
Why aren't you saying this about Milchick? All these cryptic words.
No, Milchick, like the Grashstrupen, whatever we just said, that's a made-up word, Christian.
No.
Even a made-up word, this man still bodied it and made it sound Swedish. Well, to us. Like,
wait, what makes you say it's made up?
Because he went on a live night show with Gemma one of those boys' late night shows. He went on one of their shows and said it was a made up word, but that there was some backlash from the Swedish community.
Really?
Yeah, because it doesn't exist, or it does exist. I don't fully remember the segment.
It sounds like it exists.
I know, right?
Wait, that's interesting that they would make it up. Like, there's no need to make it up.
Just find a real Swedish word. But if you think about it, what if that doesn't exist? What if there's no tale of a Swedish king who used to like dress up and camouflage himself and be among his people to feel what they're feeling? What if that whole thing's made up, which we know it is? Like, what if for the sake of the story, for the sake of Severance, the TV show, they actually made up a Swedish tale and gave it a made up Swedish name?
Well, he could have just said that it was a story that maybe like he could have included it as part of the legacy of Egan. Like something happened in one of the Egans, one of the CEOs, where they did that act of masquerading as a nobody and going into the Capitol or whatever. I mean, I don't know. They could have done it, I'm sure, but
that is true. No, they probably could have done it too. These folks do whatever they want to do. But
I like the story though. It reminded me of Freeran when remember when Flame was discussing with Freeran about how a noble debasing himself. It's like you remember that scene? I won't go into detail because we're talking about Severance, but
yes,
Freeran fans will know what I mean.
Yes, what are the odds aside from us of Freeran fans and Severance fans?
Unbelievably low. No, that's not that low. But I mean, for the sake of them listening to us speak about Severance, that's low. But
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, they tuned out as soon as we hit episode 28. But yeah, I remember basically the idea of a demon who is concealing their mana is the same as a king who would be debasing himself of his royal things, his throne, letting go of that, which doesn't make sense. If I'm a king, why would I act poor? If I'm a demon with mana and magic, why would I not flaunt it? Some crazy shit, Christian. Yes, I listen. Like, I listen. That's wild. Yo, Christian, LER, man, these two episodes, 5 and 6, like, women, bro. Like, the man didn't know. Like, oh, it was her. How did you not know? Like, she is you.
That's not a woman thing. That's just complicated to navigate.
I don't know. Okay, honestly, let's take that back. Women is just like,
that's a hard thing to wrestle with.
Honestly, I see a guy being not cool with that, but get that. I don't know.
But think about the context though. Like, she just woke up. Like, this may as well have happened like an hour ago. Like, it's that's not something that I feel like you could give her a little slack. Like, it's a hard thing.
No, I can give her some slack, but it's the reality of not understanding why she's putting this on Mark. Like, not explicitly, but body language and all. I need to be by myself. I can't. You thought it was me. Like, you trust me. You don't know it's me. Like, how couldn't you tell? Like, girl, it is you. You're outing it's the same person.
There's a lot of murkiness there,
bro.
But, it's not that obvious. Like, it's like from her perspective. No, from
Christian,
her perspective,
she fooled us. The only person she didn't fool was Irving. She fooled everyone watching.
Actually, yeah, but it's not that crazy to think that someone would be surprised that they weren't recognized, because that's in a way it's challenging her identity, her existence. It's like, well, if you thought that was me, then who am I? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they already struggle with the idea of being their own person. So immediately you're told that your outie was pretending to be you. It hurts. Like, I'm sure it would hurt to know that the people who she considered friends, because at this point she doesn't have family, she has no one outside this group, so like they're the closest to her, that they would be duped by a copy of her. It's like, I get it. I get why she would be surprised. Like, and it's not like she remains surprised either. Like, it hits her hard when Mark inevitably tells her that they had sex. Like, it's a hard thing to wrestle with.
Okay, Christian.
guess.
I like the fact that we I don't know that we have opposing ideas. That's good. It makes a discussion nice. Again, well, you know me, right? Unfortunately, I'm a very rational thinker. I don't know. Like if it's like right, anything we've talked about, right? It's like I get it, but it's this. Like I understand it, but it's happening because of that. So for that reason, like automatically emotions took a back seat because like okay, I understand, but my owner, because that's basically who she is. She can dress you in the morning and send you down here for you to be you, or she can just stay up there and not let you come down here. So my owner, me, but who's in control, came down here as me and did her thing. It's not on you, Mark, because she's been watching me. She's been seeing how I've been acting down here. So for that reason, she mimicked me because I'm her and she's me. But I don't know. That's what I thought. I was like, the first time, I get it, girl. I understand. But to keep this going, you don't trust me. You don't know me. Oh, to make matters worse, she had to smash. She smashed first. I want to smash too. Which, good for him. Mark, Christian, Mark had sex with two different women with the same body. Mark is winning. But still, it's just like, oh, come on, man. It's just, like, she need to eradicate her essence, childish folly, man. I don't know. It is what it is. Anyway, homeboy was down to do it. He did it. It is what it is. I'm happy for them. It's just, I don't know. We miss Irving. But anyway, we're moving on. Before I leave these two characters, do you want to say something about them? Seriously. I have no issues with these folks. These episodes are just like, it was just too slow was happening to them, in my opinion.
Too slow? What do you mean?
Other shit was happening that was better for every other character in these two episodes. That had to happen, but that didn't need to linger for 2 episodes. Like, for her to be upset, her giving him the cold shoulder, her coming back and said, okay, fine, I got it. I'm upset that, she dresses me up, which I understand. Let's go have sex, too.
I mean,
just like,
it wasn't just about Helly, though. It was also Mark and how he's processing things. Like, it's important for us to see that was a significant thing. Like, the betrayal is significant. So, the lingering on it, I think it's, especially for these two, I would say that's pretty important because especially because they're playing with this interaction between Mark and Helly, because you have the innie version of these two, and then you have the outie version of these two, which is a complete mirroring. There's no warmth when outie Mark. I mean, there's like humor, but there's hostility in the air because outie Mark knows what Helena is doing as far as like being with the company that's keeping his wife captive. So yeah, when you have these moments with innie Mark and innie Helly, and then these moments with outie Mark and outie Helly, the parallel it's part of the overall character arcs that's happening with these two and how they're playing with the relationship. So I wouldn't say that it's unnecessary. I think it's pretty. There's purpose there.
It's not unnecessary. I thought it lingered for too long.
That's similar to saying it's unnecessary.
No, as in that could have been done in one episode. Like, she take her space, it's fine. Well, granted, she wasn't aware of they had sex part until the next episode, so I guess I can see why that happened in episode 6 instead of episode 5. You know what, Christian? To see them through your lenses, I guess it makes sense. It is a lot to take in, because these people are still fresh. To her, it's still like yesterday she was there, now she's back at work, what's going on? Oh, wait. My body was stolen, which we're already aware of her point of view on the fact that she has been told that she's not a human. Yes, she despises like her outie, like hard, because she hit her with the cold truth very early on in the season. Like, you're just cattle. Like, you're just here because I want you to be here. If you think you can like strangle me or cut me, like, I'll keep you here. As in, they already have a very toxic relationship. Everyone else is unaware of what their outie's doing, but she knows hers hate her and she hate hers. So hearing that she took over, had sex with my love interest because they kissed, that's the last thing she remembered. Okay. I can recant my statement. Yes, Christian, I'm on board with your theory. It makes sense. Why not? It's a hard life, Christian. Let's move to more treachery, because that's all that keeps happening in these 2 episodes. Dylan and Gretchen. Just the contrast is so nice between innies and outies. Like, Dylan on the inside is still a jerk as any, but, like, same thing as Ellie, these are... Go ahead, you want to say something?
So, which... Are you on episode 6 right now?
Sorry, I guess that's 6. Dylan and Gretchen. Yeah. I'm just moving from characters to characters. If I paint the scene, you're going to remember it. But if you can look for it as I'm painting it, it's fine. Dylan and Gretchen, they meet in their weekly family meeting inside of Lumon thing, where he's talking to his wife, Gretchen. Like, you're really nice. Can we hug? I think they even kissed. Like, she's telling him how, you tried this, you tried that. He's like, oh, my Audi, just keep trying on things. That's cute. And she says, I like this too. And then they give you the contrast. They show you a conversation that happens at home where she just is not feeling Dylan at all, which there might be reasons for that, because she's mentioned in prior episodes, you just keep trying new things, you haven't gotten your thing. And he's like, am I a fuck up? And she's like, I wouldn't say, but you're just looking to get your thing, which kind of shows that their marriage right now is extremely stale from her end. Like, and even small conversation, like, hey babe, I wanted to buy the car, they're forcing me to buy the car, and she's like, no, don't buy the car because it's another expense. And he's like, okay, I guess I won't buy the car. And then he asked her, did you go see Lumon for the anything? And she's like, no, it was canceled. So these things are starting to creep up, Christian. She's starting to like the any version of her husband, because that guy's full of life. That guy makes her laugh. That guy lights up whenever she comes to see him, because that guy is just now learning he has a family, so this is all new to him. That guy's in the honeymoon phase. And it's sipping into her marriage where you can see that almost like I no longer prefer my real husband over his any. No, almost like I'm starting to prefer my husband's any over the real person that lives with me. That's what I got. Mm-hmm. Do you know what scenes I'm talking about? Like, they show you her on the outside and her talking to Dylan on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the lines are starting to get distorted, which is not Homegirl's fault at all, right? Because remember, when he was fired and she called to support him, and he was like, that's a bad time to call right now. As in, like, you can tell, like, Homegirl just... The marriage isn't... I wouldn't go as far as saying the marriage is dying, because there's not enough evidence to say that, but it just looks like the connection between her and her husband is fading, and the husband's not aware. That's another thing, too. And it almost looks like his Annie has a lot of empathy, because he feels bad. Like, I'm not treating you well. What's going on? Is he doing something bad? Like, am I a fuck up? Like, I'd like to see you. Can we hug again? Like, she's getting things from her husband's Annie that she's not getting from him on the outside. And if it continues, might be an issue. But enough of me rambling. What are your thoughts on Dylan and Gretchen and their dynamic of what's happening? Or Gretchen alone? Or both?
Yeah, I mean, I had the same thought as you, that she's starting to favor the Annie Dylan as soon as she decided to lie to the Audi that they would actually meet. They revealed some of her disinterest, or her growing disinterest in the Audi, and her growing interest in the Annie. Yeah. Treacherous,
Christian, treacherous. I'm kidding, but yeah, Homegirl, I don't blame her. That's like, it's just like, my uncle's always telling me this, like, you don't go and get a girl if you can't. It's not even a need thing. It's just knowing that you have a partner. So for that reason, like, they need to feel loved, which you need to do too. And we've been seeing that Homegirl's been extremely supportive, but we don't know.
Yeah, and before we continue with episode 6, there is one thing we didn't talk about in 5.
I'm jumping, but go ahead. As in, like, we'll cover everything 5 and 6. But yeah, go ahead. Whatever you're gonna talk about, we'll just adjust from that. Just extrapolate from that.
Okay, yeah, it's still involving Dylan. When they had the funeral for Irving, and because Irving's final words in the previous episode to Dylan was "hang in there," and then Dylan, he notices when everybody left that the poster says "hang in there," so that's why it piqued his interest, and that's why he looked under it, and then he saw the map with very detailed instructions on how to get to the door, the corridor, the black corridor. So you didn't catch that?
No, I did not. I did not at all, Christian.
Did you think he just randomly lifted up the painting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
During the funeral, he said he put the dick in contradiction. And Milchick's face, Milchick's like, what the fuck is... The way Milchick rolled his eyes when he's not about all this profanity thing. Like, what is this? It's just, bro. Yo, Miss Wong, Christian? Before that funeral took place, Homegirl told Milchick, which again, right, because this is all we're taking this full circle. What is one of the things that Drummond mentioned that Milchick is doing that he shouldn't? The kindness reforms. Miss Wong, before the funeral, you shouldn't let them have a funeral. It makes them feel like people, bro. I'm like, where did I get this little girl from? I'm like, who hurt you? But it is what it is. These people are insane. And since we're on the topic of Dylan, when they barged into to Milchick's office in the beginning of episode 5, when he gave him the lie about the king and all, as Dylan is like, what'd you do to Irving? What'd you do to Irving? Oh yeah, you already say elongated voyage. You look at Dylan and he's like, careful, Dylan. Words have consequences. I'd hate to rescind some privileges. Bro, and that shut him up real quick. No, the way they have Dylan in the bag right now is insane. Like, it's so sad. Because he wants to keep seeing his wife. You know, that's like his Audi's wife. Like, that's a good thing, you know, making connection with the outside world. That's pretty much what he's doing, which is a privilege that none of them have, except for Dylan. So that's extremely precious to Dylan. Dylan does not want to lose that. Because Dylan's starting to love that woman. But it's some crazy shit. Now, okay, we're moving on.
Yeah, they all had like all the innies are having their little romance partners.
Right.
Ellie and Mark, and then Burt and I keep about
Irving.
Yeah, Burt and Irving. I keep trying to say like Burt and Ernie. I think Sesame Street, right?
I don't know. I think. I'm not sure. Might be actually.
Burt and Irving.
Dylan is their shit is weird. Yeah, we're gonna get into these two characters. That's some crazy thing. Also, the concept. Okay. There's a bunch of shit. Before we get into that, Rickon's book, Christian. Do you remember? It was just a goofy book, like promoting self-worth and promoting like fierce and hope. You know, in the middle of, I don't even remember half of the garbage. In the middle of dust, there's industry. As in, you should fight your own battles. The book has been rewritten. There's another edition. And one of the lines, which Devin was reading, your sovereign boss may own the clock, but you get to enjoy the ticking of the clock, which should make you happy. Ever since he partnered with Lumon, his book, which was revolutionary to the innies, is now being made to keep the innies enslaved. Is now being rewritten in a different perspective, which Devin was like, dude, what the fuck? This is not your book. Like, you're buying into with these people's craps. Now you're pushing for this agenda for the innies to enjoy the enslavement that they're going through, for them to rejoice in the little nicks of benefits they give them, whatever they are. Like saying shit like you may not own the clock, but you get to enjoy the ticking of the clock. It's almost like, sure, you're suffering, but you're fed. Sure, you're in prison, but you have a roof and a bed. So Devin's like, this doesn't make any sense. And then Rick can hit her with the ugly truth. I get that, babe, but we need money. And I don't think I'm going to sell 1,000 copies to provide us the life that we now need with a baby on the way. So, like, if it means...
They live in that mansion-like house. And he's like, babe, we need money. It's like, bro, how did you afford that place in the first place?
That is true. They show us portions of the house. That's another thing, too. We never get a complete picture of Rick's and Devin's house. It's always the side door where the people are coming through, the side mirror from the side door, because there's like a transparent living room. Like, they never zoom out.
Yeah, but I guess it just looks so posh and luxurious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. That is true. That is some crazy shit. Okay, Christian. Now, let's move to Irving and Burt. What a crazy set of like weird stuff, right? Prior to the dinner, right? Irving's being followed by Burt. Wild. Hey, come to my house. This is what it is. He comes over his house. Weird. How weird was that dinner? Jesus.
Yeah, it was. I did not expect that motivation to come out of Burt. That was
the what?
That was the motivation that came out of Burt. And also, I'm assuming you're talking about the weirdness between
Fields, his husband.
Dafoe. Yeah.
Who's William Dafoe?
You know who that is? You're a Marvel guy.
I'm not from this country. Oh wait, that's not even a country thing.
Yeah,
that's Marvel.
He was in,
that's Green Goblin.
Spider-Man's. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Green Goblin.
He's
right. He's extremely iconic. Homeboy's 69 years old. He did his own stunts for Spider-Man. Someone said I have to check that. The last Spider-Man. Yeah. That's what you think he looks like. I didn't see it, but Christian, if you do, you have free will.
What I think he looks like? What do you mean?
No, he looks like William Dafoe to you, like Fields, or is it just a joke?
Isn't that William Dafoe? Is that not him?
No, that's not him, Christian.
I take it back. Oh. I'm looking at this guy. Where do I know him from then?
You don't know him from anywhere, Christian. He's a new actor. He's not a new actor. The guy might be known. I don't know.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I'll look at it when we're done.
It's a hard life.
I've definitely seen him in a lot of roles. So. I mean, him and also Christopher Walken is playing Burt. These are very iconic people in the Hollywood industry.
Yeah, Burt's well known. He's the dinner's so weird, and even the approach, the fact that Irving is his Audi is feeling Burt, and the way his Annie did, his Audi is too, which is so weird because I would be out of there. It was just the vibe was weird. Like even from the door, like homeboy just walk in. Oh, what your Annie ever saw in this Philistine is beyond me. I'm like, what is going on? Oh, it's okay. We can sit. What's mine is yours, after all. I'm like, bro, what is this? Like, I was so weirded out. The fact that Irving sat through for this whole thing. The concept, Christian. Okay, I mentioned in the previous season how Lumen is embedded so deeply into the society wherever it is that the show is taking place. That, you know, like there's they have banks, they're into politics. There's a non-lumen medication, meaning there are lumen medications too. A sermon about severance is how Burt got to join Severance, meaning these folks have embedded themselves into religion, which is one of the strongest influence in this world. Religion and the media, and they already have the media because we see Mark read the Kier Chronicles a lot, as they have their own newspaper. So this is just to show you, although this company is private, although there's a lot of backlash for what this company is doing from the people, there's revolt, like people are standing up and saying this is not right, yet they're still able to make such crazy strides, infiltrating such like deep organizations that have such control on the public, like the media, like the church, like the government. Like, it's insane. But this was just a small segue into Burt's thing about believing that Annies they have a soul. Where did that come from? He went to church with Field, and there was a sermon about severance where the pastor was saying that Annies are complete individuals with souls completely separate from the Audis. So since Burt is convinced that he's not going to heaven, which is wild, that Irving is so enthralled, like so whipped, you know, so crazy about this man that he's not thinking, okay, why are you so sure you're not going to heaven? Like, what have you done? He's not even asking any of these questions. Like, for that reason, he believed that his Annie might go to heaven, which then Irving said, well, if you think he's going to heaven, don't you think he's going to heaven with me? Because he was in love with my Annie? Bro, and then Fields just didn't say shit. Like, did you pick up on that whole concept of, it wasn't a concept. Like, Burt was just talking about how he got to join Lumen. It was because they went to church, and the pastor was saying that. And since his soul is tainted to the point of no return, he believed there's no salvation for him. He thought, why not? Maybe my Annie might be able to live up there while I burn down there. Did you pick up on that?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I mentioned before. Because also, to add into it, the title itself is called Attila.
Right.
And that's what Fields calls Burt.
Mm-hmm.
Attila. So this, I assume, is a reference to Attila the Hun, which is a historical figure that's known for being a fierce and relentless leader. But he's also known for his uncompromising tactics and the destruction that he caused. So this, combined with the fact that Burt did something that can tell him, that makes him confidently say he's going to hell. And we know that he was around at the very inception of this severance thing. He's probably one of the first people to do it, maybe. And there was some... there's Burt. The fact that back when the Innies switched places for the first time, and we saw that Irving's Audi was doing research, and he circled Burt because he was a significant person, and he was scoping out Burt. It's like something happened with Burt, where I think it's related to Severance, and we already know that there's this moral dilemma surrounding the idea of Severance, and here he is saying that he did something that would, without a doubt, cause him to go to hell. It's like, I don't know, something's going on with Burt there. So, yeah, it just really makes me, as a watcher, really curious to know what the hell Audi Burt did in his youth around the time of Severance. Yeah,
and then they throw away the time there, which is kind of wild. Like, as Fields is drinking more and more, he's like, yeah, like your old Lumen partner 20 years ago, to which Irving's like, because Irving knows his Lumen shit. Like, his Audi has been doing homework, saying, that's odd, the first Lumen office opened up 12 years ago. It's like, oh.
Yeah, there was confusion with the timelines.
Yeah. To which Burt is like, Burt has this lingering, sinister afterlook, which he does so well. It's just at the same time he give Irving these smirks. Like when he's like, I guess he's going to heaven with me. He look at him and he's just like smile, and Field can see it too, which is insane. It's like it's almost like Field is like is getting cuckolded. He's like cuck. I don't know why I'm saying that way. You know what I'm talking about, right? Men who are it's just like it's wild. And how he's so forward, like at the exit. Let's do it again. Like you, me, and Fields, or just you and me, bro. And of course, like Irving is just out here, just Irving can't even think straight. He's like, either way, I'm like, bro, man. And the way he looks at him as he leaves the house, like all that fucking was an enticing look just drop, and it's now almost like sinister. Nah, it's insane. Like Burt's character, we gotta watch out Burt's character. Okay, Christian. Helena Egan crashes Mark's dinner. Wait, no, before. Let me do before. Right, Ragabi comes over. Ragabi tries to do the procedure. Mark's like, fuck it, I don't want to do it. It's too painful. He goes to eat. Helena Egan comes in. Okay. Do you want to take that?
You mean the scene in the
diner? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of touched on it before, right? There's animosity there.
You did. Okay.
Conversations.
That is true. You did. But something happens there that pushes Mark to go back in there and tell Ragabi, fuck this, let's continue with this right away. She
forgets the name. Forgets
Gemma's name. I can't imagine what you've been through losing your wife, Hannah, right? Like, bro. She was so young, bro. Like, this man's already suspecting that you're keeping his wife enslaved in some dungeon and, like, making her go through all sorts of things. Because whenever he sees her, she looks sad. And now you're pretending like she's been dead. And you have the audacity to forget her name. So he's like, fuck that. He goes back, like, Ragabi, let's do this shit. This is what it is. I don't even care. And she's like, okay, I'm going to have to drown the chip. That's the way to start to make the reintegration complete. She drowns the chip, which dug this shit deep into his head, which is insane.
Yeah, I question the practicality of her methods there. I don't know how easy it is to just reopen a hole into the brain. It was certainly interesting. I don't even think she used anesthesia. Like,
oh, no, he was wide awake.
Just tanked it, I guess.
Yeah. But also notice she told him when he first met him, I'm the one that put that chip in your head. So she must have the surgical experience. But it did look raw and not at all professionally done. But no, that is true. That's true. And I noticed he's blinking in and out the same way Petey was. He's getting the crazy headaches the same way Petey was. Because Petey went through reintegration through Ragabi too. But that's not fully... Yeah, that's confirmed through Ragabi. So anyway, yeah, homeboy passes out because he's just too much, and he starts going into a seizure, and he's freaking fuming out of his mouth.
He landed right on the wound too. That's the stuff of nightmares.
Some crazy shit.
To just completely hit the point of entry from the surgeon. Oh no.
Wild. That's a lot. It is a lot. But yeah, it's episode fucking 5 and 6. Attila and Trojan's horse. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think we covered most of the shit I wanted to cover. Alright, you're on 2, you're good? Is there anything we didn't talk about?
Nope.
Okay. It's been real. Going to sleep. Bye.